Hi, I'm Rob Reiner, founder and chairman of Parents Action for Children, the nonprofit organization that produced this video. Parents Action is the voice of America's parents. We develop parent education materials, connect parents with one another, and fight for issues that matter the most to America's parents. After watching this video, please take a moment to visit www.parentsaction.org. Help make children and families a national priority.
Hi, I'm Julia Louis-Dreyfus, and I'm here to talk about something that really does concern me. There's a serious health crisis in this country, an epidemic of overweight and obese children. And unless we start taking action now, there are going to be serious consequences for all of us. You see, life today isn't how it used to be. Used to be, mornings started slow, with a good, nutritious breakfast with the family. Used to be, you walked your way to school, ate a well-balanced lunch, and exercised in gym class and after school every day.
Come on, supper's ready.
Used to be, dinner was a home-cooked meal that the whole family shared together. That's how it used to be. But now, mornings are madness.
Go, let's go!
Everyone's rushed.
Make sure you guys get all your backpacks.
This is very busy.
Tommy, wait.
It's tough to eat a healthy breakfast.
Daniel, you gonna eat?
No.
It's a constant battle. Come eat with us, come on. We do whatever we can to make those healthy choices.
Kids feel the pressure too.
Karen, let's go.
I wake up at like 7. There's not a lot of time for me to get dressed, so it is kind of rushed. Where's my book bag?
Did you brush your teeth?
No.
Come back. You have to brush your teeth.
In many places, you just can't walk to school anymore.
Pick up your homework?
Yes.
Your lunches?
Yes.
All righty.
What happens at school? More about that later. But after school,
We're gonna do homework at the same time, okay, guys?
All right.
homework and activities leave little time to go out and play. And the internet, video games, TV, all too enticing.
How about you go outside and play?
What's for dinner? There's going out.
We're gonna have to eat it on the fly, okay?
Mom, can I have that other cheeseburger?
I ate it.
What?
And then there's takeout.
When it comes to dinner, I'm exhausted sometimes, and I don't feel like cooking.
Life's too busy for the old-fashioned home-cooked meal.
Being working parents, it's just so overwhelming sometimes.
Does some of this sound familiar? Well, you're not alone. These days, many parents are feeling overwhelmed and guilty. But the truth is, it's not all your fault. Now you're about to hear some pretty startling facts about where our hectic lifestyles are leading and what's working against your family's health. But don't get discouraged, because you're also going to hear about what we can all do to reverse the trend. First, the bad news. As a nation, our children are eating worse than ever. Too much of food that's bad for them, and processed foods, including sodas, candies, fast food, junk food, all are packed with calories. Why are they eating this stuff? Well, bad food is big business. Billions and billions of dollars are made each year by junk food manufacturers. Food that's sweet, fat, and cheap, and even cheaper to make, which means bigger profits. And like any business that wants to sell more product, more and more money is spent each year on advertising. Advertising to us and to our kids.
Look like chocolate chip cookies. Taste like them too, but it's a breakfast cereal.
Well, if you're a food company, you really want to sell foods directly to kids. Reason number one is because you want kids to recognize the brand very early in life and ask for it throughout their entire life.
Burger King!
You want Burger King or McDonald's?
Burger King!
Reason number two is you want kids to pester their parents.
Mom, I want Pringles!
No, you can't have Pringles till after dinner. Come on.
The third reason is by far the most insidious, I think, and that is you want kids to think that they're supposed to eat their own special kinds of foods, and they're not supposed to eat that boring food that grown-ups eat.
Ads are everywhere. especially on TV.
The average American child sees 10,000 food advertisements per year just on television. How in the world can parents begin to compete with this?
As marketers get more sophisticated, the future looks downright frightening.
Marketers have declared that the next frontier will be through the cell phone. Every day between 2 and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the computer will know where a given child is and can beam advertisements. So, are you hungry? Dunkin' Donuts 2 blocks on your right, 50 cents off a dozen.
Even our youngest children have become hooked by brands.
Game over, silly rabbit.
The most startling example I've seen of exploitation of children are functioning 8-ounce baby bottles with soft drink company logos on them. And one study found that families that owned these bottles were 4 times more likely than other families to be serving these beverages to their infants through these baby bottles. I mean, pretty soon it'll start in the womb somehow.
What this means is that parents face heavy odds against getting their kids to eat healthy.
It's a major battle, and I would say it's almost a losing battle.
And our busy lives make it tougher and tougher to avoid buying high-calorie, prepackaged foods or eating in fast food restaurants with their supersized portions. It's no wonder our children are packing on the pounds.
I mean, it's not that food company executives are sitting around a conference table saying, let's see how we can make Americans fat. They're sitting around a conference table saying, how are we going to sell our food products in an environment in which there's so much competition? And in that competitive environment, obesity in kids is just collateral damage.
The number of overweight and obese children is alarming.
There's an epidemic of overweight and obesity in America today.
We know that the incidence of overweight has doubled in recent years, so we really have a major problem on our hands.
How old are you now?
8.
8?
The results of this epidemic? Startling. Nearly $100 billion a year spent on obesity-related illnesses.
It's costing our health system more. It's costing our school system more.
And the human cost? Immeasurable.
Overweight children are more likely to have high cholesterol, which will lead their arteries to clog earlier and faster and lead to heart disease, to have high blood pressure, which can lead to heart disease and stroke, and to have type 2 diabetes, which only used to be seen in adults.
Children have sleep apnea. It increases the risk for asthma. They start to get joint and bone problems. Actually, you can even get swelling of the brain. Girls can have problems with their sexual development.
An increased risk for cancer in people who are overweight and obese. Breast cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer.
We're seeing a whole variety of adult diseases, or what used to be adult diseases, in children now because of poor eating habits, physical inactivity, and obesity.
The problems aren't just physical.
It's about the overweight child who gets teased on the playground. It's about the overweight child who has low self-esteem. It's the overweight child who's depressed.
I used to go to school, you know what I'm saying, I used to come home crying because they used to call me names.
It's the overweight child who has to go to a weight management program.
And you don't have to be overweight to have a problem.
Having poor nutrition as a child can impact children's bone growth and development for their entire life, can impact their immune system, can impact their ability to stay focused in school, to do well in school.
It's especially bad in our poorest communities.
They tend to have less access to the kind of foods that are conducive to healthy weights, like fresh fruits and vegetables, more dependent on high-calorie foods than others. They also have less access to physical activity, like safe parks and places to walk and be physically active.
The chilling result?
We are on the verge, if you will, of having the first generation of children who will have a lower life expectancy than their parents.
I don't know about you, but to me as a parent, this is scary stuff and overwhelming, even if your kids aren't overweight. Is there anything we can do to make a difference? The answer is a lot, and we're going to show you. But funny thing, that may seem overwhelming too, so here's some advice. If you can decide to take just one of these healthy steps for your family, do one of the things you'll hear about, you'll be starting on the road to a healthy future. Because it's all about baby steps. It begins early. by being healthy yourself during pregnancy.
It's during this period of time that women need to be thinking about the health of their baby in the future. They need to seek out healthcare provider advice.
And if you can, breastfeeding your baby from the start.
Children who are breastfed tend to be less likely to be overweight or obese.
As your children grow, healthy living becomes more complicated. This is British celebrity chef Jamie Oliver. He's done a lot to help parents and schools in his own country transform their eating habits. Here he is with some starting points.
If you want to transform, make radical change in your family, which you can, because remember, you're the boss, you're the parents, right? A small amount of things can make a dramatic change to your family. A good place to start is look at your weekly shopping list.
No, we don't need Fruit Loops.
Not only look at the price, which I'm sure I could get you to spend less, because junk food, to be honest, ain't always cheap.
Chips, no chips.
But try and find something with your kid that you can exchange it for, which ain't too bad. You don't have to change everything at once.
This looks good.
There are a few simple things you can do. Set yourself out a plan. Try and get the junk food down, fresh food up. The snacking and the munching in between meals. Try and encourage your kids to be open-minded and try new things, and that might mean you have to do the same, because remember, you could be as shallow-minded as they are. So trying something new is always good. If you can do it, like even a couple of meals freshly cooked and sat around a table being a family, food should be loads of fun. It's just how you look at it.
Open up. Nope.
Food should be fun, so don't get into fights over it.
One of the battles that you're destined to lose are battles over food.
Given healthy choices, kids will usually eat what they need. Maybe not at every meal, but over time.
Kids amazingly eat a consistent number of calories over the course of a couple of days.
Set out small portions, then give your kids more if they ask. But don't make them join the Clean Plate Club.
If you force them to eat everything on their plate, they actually end up becoming more likely to overeat later in life.
Give one to Andrew.
And don't use junk foods or trips to fast food restaurants as rewards. Use non-food treats instead, like going to the park or playground with the family. Most children are naturally chubby at first, but kids usually start thinning out by around the age of 2. If you suspect your child might have a problem, see your healthcare providers. They will measure body mass index, a ratio of weight to height, and they'll also analyze eating and exercise habits. Early prevention is a lot better than waiting till there's a problem.
There are some real basic tips that you can do, really starting around 2 years of age. One is to change your milk from whole milk to 1% milk. The other tip is to have a half a cup of juice a day, no more juice than that for a child.
And I want a lot of soda.
The third is really minimize soda. If you have 1 soda a day for a year, you're going to have 10 extra pounds a year. The fourth is to reduce the TV time and increase outdoor time for children.
Make exercise part of your health plan too. Just getting out and walking with the kids will go a long way to keeping you all in shape. And remember that you yourself are a powerful role model.
You can't be around the corner eating your chocolate Kissies when they're eating the broccoli.
There are many more ways to help your kids be healthy, like looking carefully at the ingredients in packaged foods.
My rule of thumb is if a package has more than 5 ingredients in it, I don't buy it.
I know it's really tough, but make sure your kids eat a healthy breakfast, even if you have to get up a little early. And stay away particularly from sugars. They're in everything these days, from cereals to salad dressing. Your kids may resist at first, but if you keep giving them healthy choices, they'll actually learn to like good food. For more on these and other tips, go to parentsaction.org or consult your healthcare provider. Again, if you can start by committing to take just one of these steps, you'll be on your way. The main thing to know is that kids can learn to eat well. You just have to be the parent. Serve healthy food, set limits, and stick it out. But what about when you're not around, like when your kids are at school? Here's what's been going on recently.
Schools are in trouble because of the political situation in which taxpayers just don't want to pay for them anymore. And so food marketers walked into the schools and into this vacuum and said, we'll give you millions of dollars if you will allow us to sell our soft drinks, for example. And principals agreed to this because it gave them discretionary money.
In some cases, they have to make sales quotas, and so they then tell teachers to allow the kids to drink soft drinks in the classroom, and they leave the machines on when they're not supposed to. They basically do everything they can to sell as many soft drinks as they can.
This is the amount of sugar that a student consumes by drinking 2 sodas a day for a week.
The more vending machines you have, the more kids buy from them. And there are now preschools that have vending machines.
Soda and snack vending machines are in the halls. Junk food dominates the a la carte line in the cafeteria.
$2, please.
The kids pay for it with their health and with your pocketbooks.
It's almost like a tax on the community because it's the children and the families that are paying money into the machines, and the soft drink companies especially act as if they're doing the communities a big favor.
All around the country, parents and schools are realizing what's been going on, and they've started to work together to advocate for the health of the kids, getting sodas and junk food out, replacing them with healthy alternatives, putting regular exercise back in the curriculum, and educating the kids about healthy lifestyles. It's happening all over America, like in a little town called Whitefish in northwest Montana. Whitefish might look like an old-fashioned small town, but Central Middle School is on the cutting edge of health consciousness.
Most parents don't understand what their kids eat at school. Our physical health is so important to us. They give them a couple dollars and they go out the door. They're thinking, well, they're going to buy a sub sandwich or a salad, when in reality, they're probably buying 2 candy bars, a pop, and a bag of chips.
Like many other schools, Whitefish was selling sodas, candy, and other junk food in the cafeteria and vending machines.
We recognized that the things that we were selling were not conducive to good nutrition.
The profits were going toward funding extracurricular activities.
We came to the realization that we no longer were going to sacrifice the health of our students to fund programs. We were going to look for alternative ways to fund those programs.
And to help do that, they reached out to the community, raising money through the PTA to buy refrigerated vending machines for healthy snacks.
It vends everything from yogurt to string cheese, fruit, granola bars.
Junk food and sodas are gone from the school. The kids are eating healthier. And as for the programs the junk food was funding,
we have not lost one program due to the changes in our vending.
You guys kept track of your calorie content.
Whitefish has done more than get rid of the junk foods. They've taken an active approach to educating the kids about healthy living. And it's paid off in choices they make at lunchtime.
Who's got whole fruit? Past knowledge might lead us to believe that the kids won't eat it unless it's full of sugar and that they'd rather eat chips and greasy things. But that's really not true. If you ask the kids, they would much rather have healthy foods.
Whitefish has made sure the kids get daily exercise. The results of all of this have been dramatic. In behavior,
we've reduced our referrals to the office over the course of the last 7 years by almost 75%.
And performance.
Our teachers are telling me that they're reclaiming 15 to 20 hours of teaching per year.
Getting sodas and junk foods out of the schools is a movement that's taking hold in school systems of every size, like in California. From Los Angeles Unified School District with 750,000 students.
Now we are a district that has banned soda and all junk food.
To San Francisco at Aptos Middle School.
The public schools have always been courted by the major soda companies to come and let them sponsor us so that we would get extra money. And now we have really put a ban on that.
We would like to see all the junk foods and beverages removed from school campuses across California and, for that matter, across the nation.
Like in Philadelphia, where the school district was considering an exclusive beverage contract.
It's just a red flag for us. An exclusive beverage contract always means more vending machines, more soda going into the school.
A coalition was created.
And there was a real outpouring of community support.
Parents taking action really worked.
And we ended up with a beverage policy that's one of the best in the country.
Of course, in addition to getting rid of junk food and sodas, schools should be serving healthy lunches too. In New York City, they're doing that on an impressive scale.
We serve 850,000 meals a day.
The school system actually hired a professional chef to improve the lunch menus.
What we want to do is feed as many children as we can the most nutritious foods that we can.
These are just a few examples of the many schools making changes. But there's still a lot of work to be done, and parents need to be advocates for those changes, getting sodas and junk food out, putting regular exercise back into the school day, making sure nutritious meals are being served at lunch, and seeing that kids are learning about healthy living. Find out who's making food and fitness policy in your school district, and get involved to make sure your opinions are heard. Become a real advocate for your kids and your family. You see, it's really amazing what can be done. Even a few parents getting together can transform a whole school system. But the story doesn't end when the school day is done. In many working families, the kids are alone in the afternoon.
This is a time that children can be very inactive. They can be home where it's safe, but watching television, getting lots of ads for foods.
High-quality, comprehensive after-school programs are needed, where kids can get regular exercise that's fun, too.
Make the pass!
And get healthy after-school snacks instead of being tempted by junk food.
Instead of being at home, being bored, watching just TV and eating snacks, I could be here learning and having a good time.
And we need to look at our neighborhoods as well. In many places, it's just not safe to let your kids go play by themselves anymore. We need to work with our local leaders to create safe play spaces and safe streets so children can walk to school, and make sure that kids have healthy choices in their neighborhood stores. Finally, we need government policies that protect our children by banning sodas and junk foods in our schools and encouraging exercise and health awareness. Powerful interests are fighting these changes, but it's a matter of helping us parents have more control over what our children eat and drink when we're not there. Parents can't do it alone. Assuring our kids a healthy future is going to take everyone working together. But we parents have to join together to take action, starting now.
We have an emergency on our hands.
And we need to make some changes around junk food marketing and school foods and portion sizes.
It has to do with guts, it has to do with creativity, and it has to do with will.
We need teachers and parents and schools to help us eat healthy because we want to eat healthy.
We are the future, kids are the future. We have to be healthy and learn to be healthy.
We need more of something called parent power.
Parents have a very strong voice that needs to be heard more often.
If someone is healthy, it can help the world.
And we can do it as the American people and have our children go on and know nothing but healthy options for their future.
America does have a serious health crisis, but we can make a difference for our kids. We need parents across America to stand up and speak with one voice and demand change. For more information and to order our videos, you can also go to parentsaction.org or call 1-888-447-3400. For all of our kids, thank you.